Okay. The correlation coefficient is used to quantify
my screen won't move on the other side. I'm trying to do a split screen here.
It's C. It's C, correct?
Just a sec.
To measure the direction and strength of the linear. Yes, I believe so.
Negative or positive, and then strength is how close to 1 or -1 it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correlation coefficient.
The coefficient is negative. When one variable increases, the other one decreases. Right?
Let me read the question, sorry. Yeah, the other one would decrease.
The effect of outliers on the correlation coefficient is not significant. False. Old Faithful.
And put the correlation coefficient.
Okay, so we're using
I don't know if I have this.
linear regression, isn't it?
Is this a new Excel sheet or is it on one of our other ones?
I think it's one that with the ANOVA.
Yeah, it's got the 1 sample, the paired sample, 2 sample ANOVA, and then linear regression.
Okay.
Which one was that?
That was the first of the 2 different documents we had. I don't know if that helps you find it.
Yep, linear regression. I got it.
But I don't know what the correlation coefficient is. Like, how do we find that?
Explanatory variable X.
Oh,
So,
and which one's X and which one's Y? Probably just the first one in the list?
Yeah, I would think X is the first one. Okay, so there's our deal here. What are we looking for again? We're looking for the correlation coefficient.
Isn't it the R?
0.901.
Which one was that again? Where did it come from? The R?
It's the R that we're looking for.
And I have it up on my screen if you want to look.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yep. Okay.
Would that be positive
and strong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Match the scatter plot with the correct. Oh, I see. Okay. So 0 is, I would say, C, or the top one is number 3. That's hilarious. They like mark them as A, B, and C, but then it's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So R equals 0, I would say, is number 3.
Yes, I would agree.
Let's say the negative 9.5 is number 4.
Do you think the other one, there's something on top of it? The R equals 1. Oh, you got it all reverse. Okay.
Oh, wow. There's an R equals 1, isn't there?
Ours is reverse.
So R.
Oh, there is A.
So negative, you would say R is -1 is probably number 4, right? I didn't see there was a 1.
Yes.
And then you'd probably say 5 is the 95 one.
Then 5 would be the -95, right?
Yep. And then probably number 2 is the positive 95. And then number 1 would be the last one.
Okay, hold on.
So then we get number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6. Okay, so I have it in this order: 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 1.
I think I have a different order than you do,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Do you mean just how we have ours laid out?
Like, for example, what's your first equation is r equals 0,
Yeah.
but mine is r equals 1.
Okay. Weird.
Sam.
Okay, so
Okay.
how about this? So is number 3 r equals 0 for you?
Yes.
Okay, and then I have number 2 is r equals 95.95.
Yes.
6 is negative 0.6.
Yes.
5 is negative 0.95.
Yes.
Negative 0.6.
4 is negative 1, and 1 is positive 1.
Yes, I agree with all of those.
Okay. That was question 8. Okay, question 9. We have a new set of daters. Hey, this one's going to be quick. I like it. Just in time.
Yeah, perfect week for that.
Exactly. How did everybody do on their tests?
Got a B plus.
Yeah, I got a B as well. It's like B City with these tests.
I know.
It's just you feel confident that your answer is correct, and then when you check it's wrong.
Right.
But
so
anyway.
these have genders along with them. Does it matter that do we ignore the genders?
I think we ignore the gender on this. But
Let's see.
You'd have to, right? Because there's
there's only 2 options for data.
Okay, so I have a 0.728.
I concur.
And it is positive again.
Positive and weak?
Well, so did they ever define weak or whatever?
Oh, well, let's see. Let's see if they give a number for them.
Is it like 7.5? Or because that's 0.7 is still on, it's above 0.5, but.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know if this ever tells you if it's weak or strong. Because, yeah, it does. I mean, it's kind of on the weakish side, but I don't know.
Actually, I would say it's probably strong still because it says if the correlation is positive but relatively close to 0, then it's weak. But it's closer to 1 than it is to 0.
And quite a bit. Right?
Yeah.
What was that? I couldn't understand you. What was that?
What was your correlation again?
0.728.
Yeah.
So it's closer to 1.
Yeah. So probably strong.
I'll submit and see what happens.
Very strong, but it could be still. It's a positive, but you can say it's strong, closer to 1.
100%. We're positive and strong.
Sweet.
Oh, we're done already?
Yep.
No, we're halfway done.
Now we just need to talk about our stuff. Okay. So, I don't know, did anyone else kind of play with the data at all or not really?
Not a whole lot, I'll be honest.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I've been working on it because I just want to. So what was your guys' guess? So I think our hypothesis is do major, MLB players that are 6 feet and taller have a lower batting average than those that are shorter?
Yes.
So what?
What kind of testing? I completely lost my brain.
You're cutting out a lot for some reason.
Am I?
Yeah, at least to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it very well either.
Okay. I think because my husband is using they're watching a video, streaming on the. I'm fighting with the.
It's always the spouse's fault.
No, it's always the husband's fault, not the spouse.
True.
Here, and they're watching some videos, downloading it, streaming through the internet. Hold on.
So I was kind of surprised. So here's our data, and I made a little scatter plot, which I did before I realized we were doing scatter plots. But so our overall average, let me zoom in a little bit. So our overall average for over 6 feet was essentially a 283 batting average, but a 283.1. Under 6
Okay.
was 282.6.
Oh, wow.
So they both rounded to 283, but the under 6 was actually a little less than the over 6.
Wow.
So what's going to be interesting that I think we need to do, according to the instructions, and I think we'll probably want to put this in that SPSS or whatever that's called.
You want to try?
And you know, get all of our, you know, other data as far as you know, what's our you know what I mean? Why am I'm spacing it right? You know, all of our variables and stuff, you know, what's the you know, what's our hypothesis and what's the, you know, p-values and all that sort of jazz.
Standard deviation, means, etc.
Exactly. But so what I'm kind of what I'm kind of curious of is this statistically, you know, technically under 6 is a little worse, but is it statistically relevant with it being this close? You know, that's kind of, I'm kind of interested to hear what that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to check it with like an whatever you call it. What's alpha called again?
Yeah, alpha 0.05 or whatever. Yeah. But I guess does that variable, is that something that we
just pick one, I think.
So that'll be kind of our question, is what's our alpha variable do we want to do? Do we want to do the 0.05 that we've seen most of the time, or do we want to do a 0.01, or so that'll kind of be.
I don't know how you determine that, but I mean 0.05 I think would be fine.
Because that's where we've been at most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was kind of it was really interesting to me, and then just, you know, just the count, it was, you know, kind of obvious, or you know, this is what I guessed this, but you know, if you look at, so under 6 feet in this time frame was only 529 players, and over 6 foot and over during that time was you know, 1,745 players. So excuse me, not players, but I guess player years, right? Because one player can do multiple years. But
yeah,
it kind of surprised me that, or didn't surprise me, I should say, that essentially a quarter of them were under 6 foot and 3/4 of them were over.
Right.
Over.
So what testing did you use with that one?
What do you mean?
Did we use oh, sorry, I'm just getting okay.
So I think we're just going to use eventually I think we're just going to use a 2 variable, you know, test. They're not you know, they're not dependent on each other. So it's a non-dependent test. Right?
Yeah, because the one doesn't determine the other.
Yep. So this, you know, one side will be the 6+, one side will be under the 6+, and then we'll just have to determine it from there. So
yeah.
So I was fine with doing that, and I can work on that. And then it was just like, I didn't realize, I guess this was the part I hadn't read before, was it's like, oh, we need to do like, you know, more than 4 pages talking about the data. Like I thought this was another step, but this is almost kind of the big chunk of the last part of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So anyways, I don't know if we want to break this up a little bit.
Which one is that? The form that we have to fill out?
Yeah, so like I already filled out, I was filling out the basic stuff. I'm like, okay, here's our kind of our question. I might have wrote it a little more specific, and then, you know, did a short summary, and then all of a sudden I got to this, you know, bottom part, and I was like, oh wow, this is like 2-page summary, and then
no more than, so it can be less.
No, I know that, but it wants 2 to 3 paragraphs, which I don't mind writing. That's fine. But then, you know, they want a well-labeled graph with your data on it.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to have all the data, and then it talks about, you know, descriptive statistics. Oh, is it interval? This is interesting. Descriptive statistics should not include confidence intervals, test statistics, degree of freedoms, or p-values.
Okay.
Oh, I misread that. I thought it did. I thought it did want all that stuff, but.
And what you need to do is email that form to us, the one that you filled out, the top part.
Yeah, I can probably actually share it on Office online or whatever, so we can all just work on it.
Yes,
Share it that way.
you can do it on our email,
Yeah.
on the OneDrive. Load it on OneDrive, part of your email.
You know, I know. Yeah, you can set it up to do a online document is usually the easiest because then we can all work on it at the same time, kind of like Google Docs. So, and then I don't know. They'd ask for a group name or number. Do we have a group name or number? Do you know?
We have group 2. I mean,
Group?
group 3. We
Was
are
that
group
for, oh, okay.
Say that again. You're breaking up still.
Sorry, group 3.
Group 3. Okay.
Is that the name of our group too?
Yeah, I think that's all it's our group 3.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'll kind of tidy up a few of these things, and kind of re-email out the kind of the updated Excel sheets with the scatter plot on there. And then, does anyone want to? I guess we have 3 things. So I guess if we can get one person to. We get a lot of feedback. You guys get a lot of feedback?
Yeah,
I'm hearing it.
it's coming from yours.
How about now? You get any feedback?
That's good enough.
It's gone.
Okay. So I think one person needs to do the SPSS, and then if one person can create a graph, and then if one person wants to write, right? Will that kind of cover all of our bases?
Yeah, I can do the write-up because I don't have the SPSS thingamajigger.
I have the SPSS thing.
Okay, and then I can make a graph. What kind of graph do you think would work well? I mean, the scatter plot works well individually, so I don't know if we can have, you know, 2. If I put both scatter plots on, I think that would be a little too much. So I don't know if we could have 2. You think he'd care if we had 2 graphs that were?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think if they could be put like next to each other, that way you can visually see them both at the same time, that would be good. But I don't think there's any problem with it.
Yeah. And it does say graphs. Okay, it says, yeah, your graph or graphs should be. Okay, so we have multiple graphs. Okay, so I can work on the graphs. I'll probably do, I think I'll maybe do like 4 graphs, like the 2 scatter plots and then 2 more graphs that are, what's the word I'm looking for? Something that it compares and contrasts as well, or maybe a third one that puts them both on the same timeline or something. But great. Well, I'll share the Word document. I'll email out the Excel sheets again. Well, I probably don't need to email out the Excel sheets actually, because you guys have the CSVs, which has all the data that you need.
Yeah.
And then Sam, so you kind of, or I guess Marie, you're going to need to just kind of let us know as far as quick as you can with if you can find out is it just statistically relevant or not. So that way Sam can kind of write up and let us know. You know, reject the hypothesis or fail to reject, I think would be just the biggest thing he needs to know, and you could probably write it up from that.
Yeah. When do we need to be turning this in again? What day?
Saturday.
Okay.
I'll work on it tomorrow. Let me double check if I can still access this. Somehow it a glitch, but I can re-download it on my computer.
Okay, if you can't, just send me a note and I'll email it out.
Yeah. So.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
No.
Everybody good?
Yeah, just pass it out, the information. Okay, where's this Excel? When you send out the SPS, it's in my email.
Yeah, it's like within the last week. It was right before Thanksgiving. I think I said it. Like on
Where they're buried in all the.
Tuesday or Wednesday, I think I did.
Okay.
I had to get some outside help on my SQL commands.
Okay. I think I found it. Okay, so we'll work on this one and then we'll. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong email. You emailed it onto my Gmail, isn't it?
I don't remember which one I emailed it to be honest.
You got an email from the BYU one, and I got the other one on. I see. I'll look for it. I have a lot of time.
I don't know if you guys care or not, but let me see if I can do it in the chat window here. So this was what I eventually, so that's the SQL command I eventually had to put in to get the, that one was the less than,
Oh, wow.
you can see the where master height is less than 72. So that's the less than 6 foot, but yeah, that was my,
That's nasty.
that was my SQL command I'd use. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It was interesting to learn, or kind of learn it again. But what was funny is I learned more SQL talking to actually talked to one of my cousin's husbands. He's a programmer. I learned more from him in about 5 minutes chatting with him than I have in my whole SQL class this whole semester. So
there you go.
So
How it was explained.
yeah. All right, guys, you have any more questions, or are we good to go?
I think we're good to go.
If there's any questions later, we'll just emailing or starting on the Google.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, guys, have a good night.
You guys
You
have a
guys
good night.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.